Hey guys. Okay, I'll give it a minute for a few of you to get in here. We got some things to talk about. I am back at a different park locally today. Hi, John. Well, I just got back in town from Ottawa, and well, part of it went well, part of it did not go too well. Let me tell you. News Now, Victoria. Hey, homie. And yes, yet again, they fabricated the things that they claim I said about family members in their closing arguments, of course. Okay, so we got some big things to talk about. Um, Number one, they found me not guilty of battery with injury, so that's great, as it should be. Number two, they convicted me of all three other charges, which were battery, another battery against Kirkpatrick, and obstructing Jim. So they got me for two with Jim and one for with Kurt. I'm actually disappointed and shocked, but you know what's weird? They come out, and the jury took about an hour and 45 minutes to deliberate. And in that time, guess who walked in the jury room where they're deliberating? Guess who? Guess. Okay. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. A prosecutor that knows damn well better that there was a jury trial going on. They know that building better than anybody. The lawyers know it better than anybody. And somehow they accidentally walk into the room. I find that highly suspicious. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, did that plague the jury? I don't know. I don't know. Um, I definitely think they're false claims that I said all that stuff without letting me show the evidence of, you know how they said about Jim's trial and whatnot. Uh, I don't understand how they even let that slide twice. Twice. Um, so I'm super freaking disappointed in that. I'm just staying off Facebook right now. It's better for my soul. Um, no, Frank, I'm saying that the LaSalle County publicly funded employees are. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Um, yeah, I know it. Isn't that something? Yeah. Well, I don't know specific. They didn't say because they didn't. Okay, about that. They didn't say which one did it. They didn't say. So, I don't know. I don't know. That's something to find out. But you want to know what's even worse than that? Well, no, that's the worst, actually. Because now I have no way I can believe that a jury of my peers convicted of me of three charges out of the four when somebody walked in the room. Number one, somebody in general, but number two, one of the attorneys. Three out of four charges. No, we're focusing on the positive here, Florida Jim. Oh, wait. I don't know. Whoever. I'm not reading half of them, so I don't know if that was pro or against, but nonetheless, focusing on the positive, kind of. I mean, about as much as you can for a video. Oh, yes, they sure did, Frank. Why don't you go get the reports? It was on record. They announced it on record that that had happened. And they claimed, okay, what they claimed was that this person walked in there and the jury four person, got after him saying, hey, whatever, get out. Um, oh, good, Florida Jim. I could do her a bootlicking psycho. Uh, but just to clarify, I wanted to be sure of that before I said something. Well, before I stuck to it, I guess. Anywho, they came out and they said in open court announced that somebody had walked in the room, an attorney, one of theirs, I guess, and that the jury foreperson immediately told them to get out, whatever. But you know what's weird? Number one, I don't know if I can believe that. All right. Number two, why did the foreperson have to tell anybody to get out? You're telling me a freaking attorney that goes to trial all the time, or at least is in court all the time, didn't know to get out immediately? I don't know. Can't trust it. Blocking the truth. I don't know. I didn't block anything. Actually, looks like it's held for review. Hold on. Oh yeah, they've been just crazy. That's why I had to do some time alone for a little bit first. Let me see. Alright, I think you're a mod E4, or E4, AJ74. Hold on. I don't know. They didn't announce it. I don't know. I have to later find out, I guess. They're guilty as hell. Yeah, right. Did you watch what happened? And then if they call my actions that day a battery, why was Deputy Bonts never arrested for the battery he committed? Number one. Number two, why did Jim walk right into me? And then they claim that they claim his hand was behind his back the entire time. One of them claims his hand was on the door or something. Donna claims that that nobody her view was not obstructed by two grown men, their bodies, their torsos, and everything in between where we were. She claimed she could see it perfectly. Hallucinator. So I don't know. I'm super happy. Actually, with their battery with injury. Oh yeah, slammed into him. Please give me the timestamp of that, please. Post it right here for us. I'll be waiting. Anywho, yeah, according to Kurt Pastrick, I body chucked him, which is like completely different than what he originally had to say. Because as you guys know, they said nothing. Actually, I was there for an hour and a half, and nobody accused me of doing anything. They actually let me roam at my own free will up into the courtroom areas up there, right? Without stopping me, any of that. Nobody was with me. They didn't escort me. So they put the whole courthouse in jeopardy just so because they didn't feel like arresting me when they had the arrest powers. Okay. Yeah, right. But anywho, that brings me back to there was only, as far as I'm aware, there's only one person given the extended media coverage, which was Tom Collins from the News Tribune. There were several reporters in there, most of which hate me. Tom Henson, he's that weirdo that's like obsessed with me from WLPO. Him and Rod. Hi, Rod. Rod Thorson. He's a nut. But I don't even want to get into what he did because they'll strike my video again. But he did some very terrible things to his neighbor with pew-pews. We'll say that, amongst other things, other allegations of teenage piddling, I guess we could call it. Anywho, so as I was leaving the courtroom after the verdict came in, whatever, all of a sudden, right outside the door, there's Tom Henson, Tom Collins as reporters, and some other dudes. And guess what they had in their hands? Guess. Okay, are you guys ready for this? Freaking cell phones. Cell phones in their hands. They pick and choose, and they just allow, like, they had them in the court. Dude had his smartwatch in the court. I didn't see anything that allowed him to do that. The application for like the extended media coverage, never saw it from him. I'm shocked how much hate there is for free. Oh, I know, dude. They hate it. They truly do. But that ain't gonna stop me. Maybe I'll get out tomorrow sometime and get it done. Well, I gotta see if I can make that work to get a quick audit. And I really, truly, on my way home, I was wanting to pull off and go somewhere and just do one, just for the sake of doing it. Do one. I truly wanted to. But I also wanted to go live eventually and have time to decompress and stuff. Because, I mean, you guys that actually watch me. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that might be good. That might be good. I dyed my hair back a while ago. I usually go back to it like once a year. Actually, my natural color is like a dirty blonde, but I prefer dark. But anyway, and I whacked a bunch of it off. It needed it. Oh my God, sure needed it. Um, so yeah, somebody walked into the jury room while they were deliberating, which I think completely, absolutely compromised my trial. I mean, I guess I could make it up, but how stupid would that be? Because clearly, Donna is a nut. I waved goodbye to her on my way out of the building. I have no respect for that woman at all. I think she's a disgusting person. And to use the death of her father, claiming that I said that he died of embarrassment from her, is absolutely ludicrous. And she should be convicted of perjury. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've actually never seen another claim from her like that. I know. I'm hoping it wasn't Jason Good. Jason Good, he better not. I was actually very upset with, because he gave like the closing statements. I'm like, dude, shame on you. Our kids play ball against each other. I don't have a GoFundMe. I do have my PayPal link, but I don't exactly know which course I'm taking right now. But I'm very unsatisfied with the fact that somebody walked into that room while they were deliberating. And two, I don't think I touched on this. They showed zero evidence of Jim's fake injury. Zero. Not even the pictures. Not even the pictures. And keep in mind, the person that took the alleged injury photos was nobody else other than Donna's husband, who was the man that was sitting in the back of the courtroom until I noticed him and made a stink of it, and they kicked him out because he was on the witness list. David Ortiz. That's Donna's husband. And he also was present during a good portion of the 3-2 event. So, yes, where were the bailiffs when they walked in the jury room? Outside of the jury room, I guess. I don't know. They, in between, while they were deliberating, they brought in some form of juvenile court while the jury was, like, in a different room, and we were all, in various areas. So, because I was out there sitting with my lawyer. No one knows. That's the thing. And that's what pisses me off, is they wanted to make up these lies to play with the jury's emotions. Because, of course, you sound like a jerk when you're saying, about these very deep things. And Jim's a complete freaking liar. I had no idea his son had ever passed away until after the fact of me saying whoever that mask is for should be ashamed of you. It's the same mask from my arrest video. It's that mask. All it says on there is EK Strong and has like something on there. I had no clue. Would I have said that same exact statement, even though it was minor, had I known that? Probably not. I mean, obviously, you can't. That's the thing. You can't say what you would do when you're not there. It's easy to do. It's easy to claim that stuff, but can you really? Like, was I really expected to let the door slam into Jim? I mean, they literally. It was pointed out that I believe the exact phrase was that I did not. I should have brought my papers over here with me, but I did not comply with like the order to step back from the entryway, and I'm pretty sure Jim kept saying after I was trying to call for a supervisor to come save me from this nutbag that's battering me. I can't in good faith take part of me. Obviously, like, I'm a mom, and I have a life. Like, I partially wish, because, I don't know, wish I would have, but I don't, because I can't in good faith. What am I going to sit there and admit to something I didn't do? I mean, that's my whole standpoint on things. Like, why would I? Obviously, it makes it easier and less risky. But I am very, very, hold on. Well, it's only 12 people thought you were guilty. 12 people actually walked in that room and then had their deliberations disturbed by a lawyer. Actually, that's what I have to say about it. And you know what? Some reason earlier in the trial, like earlier yesterday, I think it was, some reason I just literally had that thought cross my mind. I truly did. And what do you know? That happens to happen. Isn't that something? Tracy, these are all misdemeanor charges or whatever. I don't know. I'm not, I don't get arrested normally, so I'll be honest with you, it's my first time going to trial and getting convicted for something. Because I don't run around doing that stuff or terrorizing the public. Like, God forbid I file a few FOIA requests and find out how much money you make while you play on your cell phone and react and comment on posts while you're supposed to be at work, Vicky Leadingham, while you're getting paid by taxpayer dollars to do those things, to play on Facebook and to run your mouth. But my biggest thing is, what would the jury have said and believed had nobody walked in the room? I mean, we don't know what that person really did. They could have threatened them, saying, hey, because according to the foreperson, the person that walked in the room immediately left right after she said something, right? And I believe it was the judge, I think it was the judge that asked the foreperson, so it was a mistake, and she said, well, he said so, or something along those lines. Thanks for the great work, mods. Appreciate it. I know that we got a bunch of crybaby bootlickers on here. But like I said at trial, and like how you guys see all the time, I show great people doing great things all the time. All the time. And, you know, I have playful interactions with some people. I mean, shoot, Doug Hayes put me in a jail cell and locked the door at my request. So, I don't know. It's very, very, very disappointing. But besides where I smiled for the first thing they read off, which was my one I was not guilty for, I let out a little smile for that, but I just kept stone cold face. And then I made a pit stop. Lucy knows where I stopped. I'm not going to announce it. But I made a pit stop on the way out of Ottawa, which was much needed, let me tell you. Whatever Delete Laws could. Delete Laws does not like me for some reason. He actually sent me a very ranting email, essentially calling me a traitor. I think because I'm not nasty to everybody or something, which plenty of us aren't. So I don't quite understand what his deal was with me. I still don't understand that, because I thought he was a little, you know, wild, but I actually overall thought he was very smart, very intelligent guy. You know, and I'm a little wild to some people. I mean, it's just a matter of opinion. You asked to be arrested. You were, Alan, actually, I was essentially calling their bluff because Jim was battering me. So yeah, for those of you that recently logged in, I was not guilty of battery with injury for Jim's fake boo-boo. Like I told you, it was all fake. That Donna's husband weaseled his way into the courtroom until he was kicked out when he was supposed to be on the jury list. That somebody walked in there that was supposed to be one of the lawyers. I believe a male, based on what they said, as a man. Yeah, definitely found it. You know, my thing is I don't even go looking either way. I go in just seeing what I find that day, I guess that's how I see it. You know, that's why I've been doing this for, 2.5 years since this happened. Because this happened early on in my filming days. And I've yet to be kidnapped again. The only other persons who have put hands on me, to my recollection, was in Rockford at Winnebago County. Or was it? Somewhere up there, yeah, in Rockford. And that was actually prior to my arrest for these guys. So I am ungodly disappointed. Definitely disappointed. I don't know exactly what avenue to take from here. I mean, I can't get up in front of the judge at sentencing saying, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 because I'd be lying to him. I would be. I mean, because the thing is, I firmly believe I was battered because I was. I was. It just is what it is. Not once, but twice. And then they allow this little 1-minute clip from some weird view of the Kirkpatrick thing in that was edited, yet they didn't want an edited video from me, which was like a welded video, like where you shut your camera off and then shut it back on and put them together once it's all done. Hey Scott, nobody invited you here anyway. Thanks for coming though, I'm so happy. So happy you're here. Actually, I was reading some comments on Facebook earlier because WLPO, the News Tribune, all them, especially WLPO, um, they've been rather obsessed with me since the beginning. Since the beginning, specifically Rod Thorson, he he's a freak. I don't know what else to say. I'm trying to not say anything too bad because they keep flagging my stuff. Um, they also claim that being like me having the positive videos isn't good for the views and for money aspect or whatever. I'm like, well, actually, my arrest videos, the live and the regular one, were demonetized. Um, so that makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. Actually, as any of you know that actually um, post on you, they compared me to, but they say any 10-year-old can post a YouTube video. But this is far deeper than YouTube. YouTube just makes money off of us and it's a platform. But please, is it trial? Oh, who has trial? I'm missing them. I'm just rambling, guys. Actually, I'm assuming a lot of the people locally are the bootlickers hopping on here. That is my assumption. I know. That's a whole nother ballpark, man. It's cost me a whole lot of money and a whole lot of time. I've missed numerous of my kids' games and practices recently for trial prep, for just various things to do with this stuff. But that's, like I said, I couldn't take a plea. Why would I take a plea? I mean, yeah, it'd give me a probably better outcome that way. But would I be standing my ground and standing for what's right? No. Absolutely not. Just got on with, okay. Steel toe. The verdict is I was found not guilty for battery with injury against Mr. Jim, no name, no block, no balls. And then I was found guilty of 2 counts of battery, 1 against Jim and 1 against Kirkpatrick. And I was found guilty of obstructing Jim to not, when I wasn't getting away from the entryway. Oh, group chat. Actually, you guys wouldn't believe it. My daughter's t-ball coach accidentally sent some nasty message to our group chat like a week or so ago. Accidentally talking shit about me, essentially. I think that's the day she found out I was accountability angel. But don't worry, because she was claiming, she tried to back up, she tried to back it all up and say, sorry, Mary, I don't know why I got on this tangent yet. See you at the game tomorrow. Shouldn't have done that stuff to me, though. Because she tried to gaslight me and claim, oh, I was talking about a mom of a boy. When this person specifically said, this coach specifically said, her daughter is on my team. That's what she said. Yeah, I'm guessing she has no background of the actual situation, I would guess. But she tried to gaslight me and tell me that she was speaking of a whole different mom, and she apologized to the group chat for talking nasty about a parent. Of course, I turned her in for it all, and apparently it wasn't the first time this has happened. There was issues last year, similar, but I just happened to be the target this time. But then she tried to tell me, oh, she specifically named my child. That's how, I mean, there's only one kid with this name on that team. It's not a very common name. And she tried to say, oh, there was a boy on the team with a 1 letter off, essentially, from what my daughter's name is. And that's who she meant. Well, this lady always shortens my daughter's name and calls her by that name to begin with, too. The kid on the team last year was a male, not a female. So actually, it's opened up like those types of cans of worms for me, which is really weird because anybody that actually knows me or sees me at freaking games and stuff knows I'm just chilling, doing my thing. I'm actually shy, as many of you guys know. Oh, Dummy Kruger. They can say what they can do what they want. I trust my mod's call. I don't mind the difference of opinion, but personal attacks I do mind. You know, There are days where my kids might pick up my phone and read some of the nasty things you people say. By you people, I mean bootlickers. Um, but keep in mind, I personally, if I see somebody talking about pew pewing somebody with a, with a badge, I remove that myself. Or, YouTube flags it or something. But I'm not for that. I don't believe in that anyway. Um, but yeah, like I said, the jury was compromised. That's all I can say at this point. That's what I firmly believe. Would that have made a different outcome? I don't know. I don't know. No idea. Um, I know that there was a lot that needed to still come out that didn't get to come out. They didn't want me getting up on that stand saying anything. They sure didn't. She didn't even question me that long. You know why? Because I had to answer for everything. And it was freaking truthful. That's why. Well, the thing is, Tracy, the four-person had kicked him out. But what happened in between there? What happened while that door was closed? Did they really kick him out? Or did he say, oh, you better say this? Or meh, meh, meh. That stuff does happen. Just like how a lot of the things that happened to me and to all of you, just like my original reason for coming to start actually filming, because number one, you just never know. There's a lot of far-fetched sounding things that truly happen, and when you don't have the proof, that's a big problem. Just like how that one dude that got me started, Nick Biagioni, that got me started on all of this years ago when he illegally detained me, and then he tried to deny, saying, oh, telling this little girl to plow into my daughter on purpose, and then denying it. When I heard it with my own ears, my other daughter was right there with me. I just walked up. He probably had no idea. I had just gotten there. Um, but, and people were saying, oh, well, where's the video? Like, dude, I was at my kid's ball game. I'm not trying to, what do you think? I'm just a freaking, what is it that they said? Wait, First Amendment rampage. That's what it was called. I remember when, I forget where I read it, but somebody or another called it that. Hold on. But I've been turning in misconduct since 2015, actually, just not with a camera. I started in 2020. So, yeah, free Eric. Wait, young lady. What do you mean? Oh, I know. I'm just super disappointed. Super disappointed. I don't know. But luckily, my daughter's getting out of camp in a little while. Just have some. Well, there's something that's gonna go on in between those two things at some point. But I'm just definitely disappointed. There's a lot of time and effort put into it. But the thing is, what was I gonna throw in the towel? Just let him plead guilty, and then everybody says, "See, she knew she was guilty." Like, no, I still don't. Still don't. Yeah, I don't know. Delete Laws rubbed me the wrong way when he came in my emails. He was on a rampage that day, actually. It was amazing. I still don't know what he was talking about. That's the weird part. Call me a traitor and stuff. I mean, we're all allowed to have our differences of opinion, just like with Brooklyn audits, which I've chimed in, obviously, like on his postings like that, but never made a video about. But people like that, when you're doing good things, like for the 1A community, for civil rights, things like that, but then you turn around and commit crimes on camera, like I'm accused of doing, and literally like making a mockery of it, and then saying, oh, you're only doing this because you're retaliating, things like that. I mean, it really just does a disservice to all of us. I don't know, Lawrence. I've spent so much money on this, I might just, because not only a lot of money goes into it, it affects my entire family. It truly does. Just like how now they're having like a little celebratory party once T-ball's over very soon. It's like I don't even want to fucking go to there because now the bootlickers and the T-ball coach all hate me. Like, and then what's weird is the T-ball coach, she tried to gaslight the shit out of me about that. I was like, dude, just be honest. She's like, but before then, she says, I have no idea who you are outside of T-ball or anything. I was like, That's a really weird statement to abruptly make out of nowhere. That is very strange. Um, but what can you do? You touch my. What? I know, yeah, and actually, I carried on at the game once dude did that, but I was very upset about it. Actually, I was trying not to cry as I was telling my own daughter's coach about it. I went over there telling her, because I mean, I was way over by first base and we were way over on the other side. Um, but man, it was tough, especially because it was my daughter that already has medical needs. So we're just like, I'm lucky she's even playing, you know. So that's been weird. Actually, that coach is also the one that's the coach of the prosecutor's kid. So isn't that ironic? Um, it's actually just gross behavior. But yeah, I'm just ranting about the same old thing. I can't believe it's come to this end. I'm so happy that I was found not guilty of the fake boo boo. Um, actually, Larry Majerus never did come in, which was my arresting officer, so my arresting officer never came there. Oh, Lawrence, yeah. Watch out, man. Watch out. Actually, my birthday is August 3rd. They initially tried to put sentencing on August 3rd. I'm like, shit. I mean, not that I'm really into birthdays anymore, but they moved it to July 27th because my attorney has a federal trial during that time, so we kind of had to move it. Yeah, yeah, that's why it should have been thrown. They should have had to redo everything the second it was exposed that somebody came in when the jury was deliberating. If my lawyer did that, I think me and Lucy were just talking about this. If my lawyer did that, what would have happened? What would have happened? Some big bad stuff. That's what would have happened. But their guys can just do as they please, and then we're just supposed to forget about it. Like, no, I want to know what their thoughts were before that person entered, as opposed to after. Slightly, actually. I got on this. A jury, that's why I think it might have been tainted, but two of the people that were on the jury actually knew Jim Noblock on a low level, allegedly. Like, I think they said, like, from his daughter or something. They're two, like, young girls. They're probably like 20. Um, but unfortunately, so many of them did. So many of them were relatives. I mean, one was the sister of my arresting officer. Another one was a relative of Pastrick. The other guy was convicted of battering. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't see it that way. I can't see it that way. That they get to. Yeah, yeah. And for a computer generated jury, do I believe nobody messed with that? No. I mean, maybe they didn't. Maybe they did. I don't know. Probably never know that. But do I think it's weird that so many, like Donna's best friend or close friend was also in the jury pool? Um, who else? Several other ones. I don't even remember. It's just a nightmare. Jim Noblock's hairdresser, the barber, was in there. Um, a variety of people. It's actually not even too shocking. I actually saw it coming. So yeah, they got their wrongful conviction. That's for sure. Three of them. Three of them. I have went all this time with not even a ticket. I haven't even had a ticket since I was 19 years old. And that was for I caused an accident. I rear-ended somebody, so they gave me like one of those failure to reduce speeds. But besides that, I mean, I haven't done shit since high school. Um, Even then, I didn't do too much nothing to begin with. Isn't it interesting? I'm reading. True journalists are able to create hard-hitting stories but remain in the bounds of good conduct. Oh, really? What is a true journalist? Is it the ones that yesterday added on to Jim's fake claims of the things that I said about his son, which were not true. Absolutely were not true. Um, And then not only did they, I can understand them reporting that Jim testified to that. I can understand that. They're reporting what they saw and heard at trial. What I cannot understand, and which I brought this up today to Tom Henson, was that, who is from WLPO, is that they added that not only did I allegedly say something about Jim's son, which did not occur, very much did not occur, it was actually filmed. He was blasting music, but also about his wife, who unfortunately has had a cancer battle herself, which I am aware of that even prior to yesterday. But number one, I was never aware of that long ago. Number two, Jim never, ever claimed that. He did not get up on that stand and say that. So they literally decided to say that themselves. And do we know what printing falsities is? When you know it's not true? It's called libel. And they know that. They're not that stupid, I'm sure. Oh, we must have a bunch of bootlickers on here, huh? I know, I'm just, you guys gotta understand, I stuck this out through a lot. I mean, I stuck it out. I could have thrown in the towel and just took the plea. I didn't want to. Because in good faith I couldn't, and I stood by that when my sister died, when my dad died within 6 weeks of each other, and when my daughter had very severe stuff going on with her when she was hospitalized, and all of our struggles thereafter, which luckily she's contained now and has been for a while. But that's the thing, I swear to God, if I hear Jason Good asking for some crazy days like he did with my brother, I'm just gonna cry or something. Especially because, like, even like in those situations, I mean, actually, I think they got me choked up multiple times throughout. I mean, you guys got to remember, these are the same people that just got me convicted of those crimes. That when I had an order of protection for somebody with substance abuse problems that did what he did some things, and I needed an order of protection, and the police encouraged it, all that. I went and did the thing and got it signed, even though I didn't want to go to the downtown courthouse because of everything like that's going on with them. What did Jim and Donna do? I had previously called. I had called and said, hey, right between, I was going from one courthouse to the next. It's probably like a 5-minute drive. And I said, hey, I'm going to be up there in a few minutes, on the phone to Ron Radnovich. And he told me it was okay to just notify court security that I was there, and he would come outside so I was safe. I didn't want to come in the building and deal with them. I was dealing with enough. And unfortunately, I walked up there, tried to notify court security, and Jim and Donna just ignored me and glared past me. And you could see the fucking look on Donna's face. She was so proud of herself in that moment. Like, are you kidding me, you lunatic? Like, what are you doing? And literally, I knocked on there. I was like, Donna, look what I have. I have this. Like, they knew I had an order of protection that was signed by a judge and needed to be brought to the sheriff's office to be served. And they chose to bully me. And it was actually really upsetting. I just couldn't even control it. I didn't know what to do. I had to start crying. Like, I don't know. I don't know. This was like days before Christmas. Like, they're bullies, dude. Stacking the jury. Yeah, guys, I mean, with you mods, I mean, I don't mind constructive criticism type comments, things like that. But, all the craziness, yeah, I totally support you guys removing that. Absolutely, and I appreciate all the help with this, especially because obviously I can't sit here and stare at the chat. I mean, I could, but my brain doesn't allow it to happen that way. I don't know, I'm just super disappointed, but I feel good that the battery with injury was out, and I feel good that I stood my ground and stood by the truth and saw it through. And I just knew I had to, even back when I was sitting in the hospital with JoJo and we were supposed to go to trial the first time. I just knew I had to stick with it. I didn't know what else to do. Thanks, I've been a hot mess all day. Oh, I don't know. It definitely is a big kick in the shin, that's for sure. But I'm happy. I'm happy it's over. Happy I don't have to keep missing my kids' games and shit like that. Because, I didn't want to. And unfortunately, because I caught COVID when we were supposed to go to trial in April. And don't worry, guys, all the bootleggers watching, especially you LaSalle County turds, let me tell you, your prosecutors wanted to fight. They wanted me in that courtroom. They wanted me around a jury. They wanted me doing all that with COVID, with no voice, and I couldn't hear. It was bad. Um, it's definitely sad stuff. They try to say all this crazy stuff. Kirkpatrick was so concerned about me, so worried about what I was gonna do. He had his back to me the whole time. Well, not the whole time, but during that whole time. I do have 30 days. I don't know if I'm gonna waste the energy on that though, or financially. Like it's very costly, and I paid a lot of money for this. A lot of money. Overall, I missed out on a lot of money. And like I said, even just hear nasty shit from my kid's t-ball coach when she accidentally sent it to the group chat because she's so used to talking shit about people. Like, what the heck? Yeah, so watch out if Mary's your coach next year, everybody. But I don't know, guys. That's about all I got. But the proudest part of the whole thing was yeah, I didn't get to say everything I wanted to let out. They tell you, oh, wait for your day in court. Well, your day in court comes, and guess what they do? They try to silence you more. They try to throw out everything you got. They try to object to everything you're saying in the middle of you saying it. That's what they do. But anyway, I'm so proud of myself that with all my anxiety in my little heart, I was able to get up there and last minute decided to testify. Because if I didn't, I'd always be wondering, well, should I have, She outs herself. What is she? Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, that thing with the T-ball coach is a nightmare. Oh, my God. And then, I don't know. I think she also didn't like me because I do not like the cancellation of practices and stuff on a constant basis. I get things happen, but, we pay money for these kids to these games. I mean, obviously, won't make us think about a time or two things. People are parents, people got jobs. But, I think that was part of it. I think she just didn't like me. And I never came at her sideways. But anyway, but the thing is, like, I've been so tainted by the media since the beginning. Actually, a lot of them didn't like me anyway because beforehand I was exposing things, I began to expose Jeremiah Brown he used to work for Peru Police Department. He does not anymore. You guys might have heard me talk about him from time to time. He used to also work for Spring Valley Police Department. One of my friends texted me, did you make the local news, love? Like, but you don't understand. They was all in there waiting for me with their cell phones. The same cell phone I wasn't supposed to have when I was documenting them trying to impede the complaint process yet again. And then I'm so lawsuit happy. Number one, I've never sued anyone. Number two, haven't been arrested on any other filming journeys. And number three, actually, I could have filed a lawsuit immediately. Number one, for my first visit there. Oh, my daughter's coach said she appreciates the shout out. You're welcome, girl. Hey, I'm speaking the truth, I said your side, I said my side. If you want to get on here and say it, go ahead. Oh my God. Now she's calling me. Please stop calling. For now. But that's the truth. I mean, I ain't lying about it. That's why I called higher up people in the league about it. Because it was a problem. God, Joe, I hope so. I hope so, truly. But yeah, like I said, I mean, to hear your daughter's coach running her mouth about you, saying nasty, hurtful things about you, and then gaslighting you, and then inviting you to the celebration party along with everybody else. Yeah, that was weird for me, Mary. Definitely weird for me. And if you were honest and just said, hey, man, sorry, I fucked up and shouldn't have sent it to you. I mean, I get we all have something to say about people sometimes, but that was really unprofessional. Mary, stop calling me. You're interrupting my journalism. Well, I just spoke the truth and said how it felt to me. I'm actually shocked she's calling me. That's very weird. Um, but like I said, I feel like I was completely gaslighted in that situation. She also told me she would bring the roster with the person's name that was similar to my daughter's that was the opposite gender and never did because I wanted the proof of that. I got hair in my mouth, too. Yeah, Justice Jake, thank you. I'm getting a bunch of text. I'm not giving her number. I'm not trying to start that problem. My thing is I have every right to call it out, but I'm not going to pick a fight with my daughter's coach either. We only got like 3 games left. She should stop doing that. When you do wrong, you just got to admit to it sometimes. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you look like an asshole, but you look like more of an asshole. Not in this situation particularly, but in general with people. When you lie and when you try to be shady to cover things. That's how I feel. I know. Thank you, 357. That coach thing, it really hurt my heart. Like, yeah, I've had a lot of backlash from a lot of people, but I go around just doing my thing. Anybody that knows me knows I'm pretty quiet. I keep to myself and like my people I'm comfortable with, things like that. But it was very hurtful. And then she was saying nasty, nasty things in front of these other parents on there, and then claiming she didn't. And then claiming it wasn't about me. It was about another parent from last year that was on the team. Like, no, you said her daughter is on my team, not her son, it would have been, was on my team. Those are 2 different things. So, yeah, I had no respect for that at all. We even spoke finally on phone call after, and it was just one big circle. So, whatever. I'm done getting off on that because really, it's my daughter that's in the middle of that, which makes it even worse. For somebody to do such a thing. And when you're talking shit about people, especially when you're a coach, you better make sure it's not going to the group chat. Group chats are a dangerous territory. And hold on, let me see what he just said. Why? Okay, I'll do it. The duck swims at night. I was told to say that on here. I don't know why. I have not actually met American Amy, government watchdog, but I actually have a lot of respect for her. I actually deeply like her. But we haven't met in person. As you guys know, as you guys know that actually are part of my channel and are here more than just today. Oh my God. Cameras are going off, everything. There's very few civil rights activists in my area, and the main one that I do know of that's around, Lenny, aka Truthaholic on here, I don't know how to say this the right way. As he knows, I respect his First Amendment rights, and I stood by him he's the one I filmed outside Goodwill that one day. And I was, who's that girl, Fiona, the one that used to go around with Acura Amanda? Fiona got on there calling me trash and things. I don't know why. It must have been because I went out there and simply filmed the encounter, which, it was plagued by wind. It was bad. Because I didn't berate him for his view. How's the sound on here, guys? Because the wind's picking up. If you couldn't tell. But, because I chose not to berate him for his opinion and his religious beliefs. And instead, I just stood by and watched his police encounter because eventually they came. Goodwill called the cops. Oddly enough, the local Goodwill loves me. They love me. Well, the ones I know. So, I just did my thing. But unfortunately, his thing, and he's the one, I think I've mentioned this, he stood outside the state's attorney's office just recently a couple times. And he held up a big sign saying, Joe Navarro is worthless. Because he is. The state's attorney, he sucks. He's a terrible guy. Nasty. He's the one that was blasting the music. The jury heard all this, too. But what can you do? I had multiple people sworn to oaths that, number one, didn't act when they claim I battered battered a man, never checked me for weapons. Like I've said a million times, I had to tell the lone female CO who is much smaller in stature than me after I was out of handcuffs. Right? They dragged me to the jail against my will. Obviously, I was upset the whole time. There's like 10 of them that walked me there at least, and then a bunch around my brother. And I don't remember what I was going to say. Oh, I was there for like 45 minutes or more. I don't even know. And then they left me with her. I was out of handcuffs and nobody patted me down for weapons. And guess what, guys? Guess what? Within the month, a few weeks later, I believe it was, I've said this before too. Some dude pulled a shank out on one of the nurses there. And 2 COs got injured trying to stop it. Like, that's why, number one, you don't abuse the people. Number two, you better fucking check people for weapons. Period. End of story. End of story. And that was a big part of my rant on the 3-2 incident when Tara Hyde threatened to me. I mean, come on, how did you use that as evidence against me? Like, are you serious? And they're literally, before we make it in the building, I think, they're talking about, oh, if you put hands on a son, that's a battery. That's a battery. Like, oh, really? Are you predicting the future? Is that what you're trying to say? Are you predicting the fake shit that you're making up? Let me see how much. I don't know. Ooh, and a Bananarama. LaSalle County does suck. As a whole, particular persons in LaSalle County sucks. You know, because I like to not group people as a whole, just like how people, oh, all of us First Amendment activists are pieces of shit. Like, no. And I prefer to not be grouped as a whole. But that brings me back to the whole thing with Lenny, the other civil rights activist out here. His main focus is putting things on signs and holding them where he pleases throughout various communities. And they say things like, is LGBTQ sin, and things like that, where it's completely within his rights to do so, but, you know, hurtful to some people. And for me, I love my gay brothers and sisters. I personally talk about my own self, but I'm all. So originally, when I first heard of him and he was doing that, I wanted to go hold, and I've told him this. I told him he didn't like it, but I told him the truth. Like, why not? You know, I was like, you know, I wanted to go up and hold an asshole sign next to you, right? And film that. But then I realized, I was like, does that really make me any better than the people that belittle me for what I'm standing up for? No, it doesn't. So now when I see people saying stuff about him and all that, I encourage, go have a dialogue with him. Go have a conversation. See, you know, I mean, a lot of times there are teenagers that will go and have respectful, decent conversations and be able to kind of give both of your viewpoints and realize that, hey, nobody's going to agree, but we don't have to attack each other. You know, and unfortunately with him and with one of my own friends, and I wish she reached out to me sooner, but they were in a physical altercation due to stuff going on with him one day. That's a whole nother story. I was going to cover it sooner and chose not to because I had to focus on this. Just like how I probably would have made a bigger stink about the T-ball thing, but I chose not to. I don't know what else to say. I mean, oh, sorry guys, I'm missing everything. Hey, Lion. I know, I gotta be very careful. But, I think they were rooting on me because the one other time it got physical with me and Rockford at the courthouse, I about started crying, but I backed off immediately. But I wasn't even the one all about this. What was he? He was like a clerk or something. He immediately comes up and shoves me and then presses the panic button. And what's the fucking cop do that comes up? I went to IVCC too, actually. But years ago. But what does the cop do? He immediately comes up and also starts putting his hands on me. Immediately. After this dude shoved me, he battered me. And then pressed the panic button. And he was nowhere. He literally left his workstation and then came out to where I was probably 15 feet away and then went back after he shoved me and pressed the panic button. So as far as I recall, those are the only that in LaSalle County where there are 3 separate times where they put their hands on me. It's never come to that. And I've never been arrested either, obviously. I've probably been threatened with arrest a good handful of times. I couldn't even tell you for sure, honestly. I don't remember. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. I shouldn't have to, as my kid's mother and just as a parent in general and just as an activist, I shouldn't have to feel some type of way because of the behavior of a coach. And yeah, they volunteer their time, yeah, whatever. But we do pay our money to send our kids there, and we don't need to be belittled. And what if my kid had my phone in her hand? You know, like, come on. Like, kids pick up the phone, watch YouTube, or, willy nilly, or whatever the hell they watch. I generally don't let mine do that, because I know there's things I don't want them having. But, do you need. Who? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's a good question. Well, with respect to that, I think Judge Ryan is a fair man. So, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. But I think overall he's a fair man, and it's been like a whole hot mess. I think this trial should have never been in this county, which is why I fought to get it out of the county. But what's done is done. That part of this day is over. Um, Hound dog, please don't. Hold on, please don't take me saying stuff about being blocked as an indictment about these mods. You don't. What? I don't understand what happened. I must have missed that, guys. Why would you want jail time for a single mom? Wait. I'll wait for that answer. Um, my phone is getting pretty low though, so I can't make this much longer. But I go around trying to do the right thing, and I actually have a positive relationship with a. Actually, we got. I'm not even gonna get into that. Um, but I feel like I have a generally positive relationship with the majority of my local government employees. Especially, I mean, I use the freaking post offices all the time. Because some of my shipping is done through there. Not a lot of it, some of it. Um, as well as, I have no problem with most of the cops out here. Actually, I firmly stand behind a lot of the cops, and I'll tell you what. If I have encounters, I generally tell them, stay safe, blah, blah, blah. Because I mean that, and I want them to. You know, it just is what it is. Almost in the wrong direction. But they just can't help themselves. I was reading I don't know if it's on here on Facebook. And they're like, yeah, the only way she can get someone to touch her is when she's shoving a camera up their ass, or I don't know what it was, something. I just fucking died. I'm like, well, whatever keeps them away from me, I guess. Thank you, Lucinator. Don't know what it said, but trust your judgment. Love you too. Much appreciated. Justice Jake, was there I forget what you had me say, something about the fish and the water. I don't know what I said. Was there a reason for that? So, I don't know. That's about all I have for right now. I'll have more updates later, but I'm just disappointed. Justice was not served today. Calls himself a spy. It certainly was not. It was for the one count. But then again, duck at midnight. That's funny. I'm surprised none of the bootlicking trolls discovered exactly where I'm at right now and came by holding their phone out the window as they're driving down the street screaming at me, like has happened in the past. It's happened. Nobody ever comes to my face and says anything. Nobody wants to have like a real dialogue. I have had a few people. I mean, I've said this before. I forget your name. I remember you. I met you in Aldi's when I was shopping one day, like a year ago, and she worked at the veterans home. And if you guys remember from way back when, I had some big stuff with the veterans home during Rona times, you know. By the end of it, we had a positive dialogue, and by the end of it, I believe we hugged, like, you know, positive encounter. You know, we don't have to scream at each other and hate each other to have differences of opinion. And yeah, you think, oh, I should just bow down to everything. Well, that's how you lose all your rights. And I tell you what, it was fucking disgusting to see Tom Collins. Well, I get Tom Collins because he applied for the extended media coverage, but all these clowns in there with their smartwatches and their cell phones out, when that was literally why they try to keep me out of the building from exposing their corruption. Like, I don't understand it. And how they didn't do anything immediately when the jury was compromised, I don't know. I don't know, this all happened too soon ago. I don't have much time to cry much more about it right now. But, actually, I haven't cried at all. Thank you. But, yeah, my daughter's softball coach, or t-ball coach, wanted me to call her. Really, I might have to charge my phone before I do that. How much time you gotta do? Oh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Sentencing's not till the 27th of July. You know, and that's my thing. They can do what they want with that, but I mean, this is what I believe in doing. This is a service to the community, whether they want to admit it or not. I mean, guess who made it be a little bit safer for the COs and the inmates at the jail because they moved the trespassing signs. You know, when people can ignore them, whatever. But, you know what I mean? They finally moved them to where they should have been. And guess who made the complaints available at the counter without having to get harassed as much? Me. And guess who has the FOIAs there? Me. It all started after that. And yes, they did try to shame me while I was on the stand for paying for a FOIA with $5 in nickels. Like, girlfriend, you don't know if I had money or not that day. Maybe all I had was my change in my piggy bank. And two, I don't give a shit if I paid for it and $5 in pennies. You better damn well give me a fucking receipt for it if I do business with my government. Period. End of story. End of story. Because if not, I'm going to do exactly what I did before, and I'm going to call saying, hey, I think somebody's skimming off the top because they're refusing to give me a receipt for cash payment. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, they used a video where people are talking about murdering me and punching me in the face and not sending help if I were to crash and shit about my children, and they use that as evidence against me. Fuck them. Specifically you, Tara Hyde. And they're probably watching, I'm sure they are. But, you know, honestly, I feel better now than I did before testifying because my anxiety. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. Sure it'll be a fun t-ball game tomorrow. I don't even know how I got into that part. But I did. That's what happens when it's live. Like, it all comes, it's true. You know, I don't know what else to say. Thank you, Anna. Banana, much appreciated. I know, but at this point, I do not have plans to appeal just because I do have a family. I do have other things that need to tie my money up than the LaSalle County fucking tyrants. That's that. I mean, I saw it through, but it's been a really shitty, like, year and a half with all the terribleness and happening to my family and stuff, so I don't think I'm going to put that extra stress on me. You know, it took me a long time to even get back out and start recording again just because my heart was hurt, my soul was hurt, you know. Obviously, when my daughter was more sickly, I couldn't then. But now everything's looking up from here. That's all I know. So I'll probably come back on here. Probably not live, but I'll make something later. But I gotta go get some stuff done, go do my mommy thing. And PC audits, thank you. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I don't know. But I don't know what to think about that that person being in there with my jury. I do not feel comfortable with that. Like I said, I just had that thought in my mind yesterday. It just crossed my mind. I didn't necessarily think somebody would walk in accidentally, but I thought somebody would take my jury, be it somebody would get in there. But and they did. I mean, well, I don't know. You know, we'll never know, I guess. Well, maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe get in touch with the Institute of Justice for Justice. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I mean, think about it. I mean, that fucking guy was allowed to shove me with his finger, shove me, turn off my video, put hands on me while I'm trying to go get my paperwork done upstairs, you know, completely separate from any of this, and then let me in the building because they ordered him to, and not face charges himself, and not even be investigated for the internal complaint I was trying to file against him. Like, what the fuck? And then you wonder, you can't. Thank you, Torque Auditor. I appreciate that. Much love. But I don't know. I mean, you can't. They try to claim you can do it online. Last I checked, which was very recently, you cannot get on the LaSalle County website for the sheriff's office and file an officer complaint. I'd love to see their complaint form off there. Maybe they've changed it in the past few days. That'd be a weird timing, though, wouldn't it? But I also could not come in person. Phone calls is a no-go. Emails, no-go. None of it. You can't complain any which way. You fucking can't. I did it. I tried them all. I tried literally all of those things before I was kidnapped. Not after, before. All right? And I even double checked myself, like, oh, maybe they did call me back and I forgot, because there's been time. Nope, FOIA'd it. It's all FOIAble. You guys can FOIA any of it. That's the thing. Almost everything I say is something that anybody else can look into. Instead of saying, oh, this bullshit, like, why don't you get the fuck off your phone and go somewhere and file something so you can find out for yourself? Because you sit there and dog me for doing such a thing, but then you're here spewing a bunch of false information, you know? But I'm getting off on a whole nother thing. Yep, fucking freedom haters. Yep. Well, anyway, guys, I got some stuff to get done. My phone's about to die. Fucking not a great outcome, but I'm freaking happy. I'm so happy that at least it was shown, at least we got one little bit of justice with the not guilty verdict for battery with injury. Because I never battered Jim, number one, and I never fucking injured him. It was ridiculous. He claims in a 15-second period that I injured him and sprained his wrist. When you can see I didn't even fucking touch him. I was literally reading from a page to Reva at that moment. But anyway, all right, guys. I know. Yeah, words do definitely hurt, and especially when you hear them from like hearing certain coaches or things like that, or even like your daughter's cheer or something, which my kids' school's been great, but at both of them. But you know, you can think what you want, but saying nasty shit, you better really make sure you're not sending it to a group chat, because that shows more about her than about me, or about whoever it is than about me, or about the person they're speaking of. And that's all I have for right now. Might get on later when I have my thoughts more contained. I had other things to speak about, but you guys know me. All right, thanks for watching. Tell your friends. Thanks for sticking with me for all this time. All right, bye, guys. Hey, and thank you especially for the super chats. Much appreciated. Bye.